So, what's your favorite part about working at the museum?
I love that every day is different. I love the variety from being a volunteer to now being the executive director. I still look forward to coming in every week. And yeah, one day I'll be helping to set up a display. The next day I'll be here talking to you.
Right. Yeah.
But it is a lot of fun to just uh, do something new every day. And every time we learn something new about history, it's still exciting.
Welcome to the Community Compass. I'm Nicole Smokovich, Executive Director of the Community Foundation of Kankakee River Valley. And today we have Veronica Featherston from the Kankakee County Museum. Veronica, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to the museum?
So I grew up in Manteno.
Hmm.
I actually had no idea that Kankakee County had a museum. I knew Manteno had a historical society, but I didn't realize there was this great big place out in Kankakee that offered a whole lot more history. But when I went off to college, I decided to major in anthropology.
Oh, wow.
That was at Illinois State University. And during my time there, I applied for an internship with the Field Museum. And that internship actually had me doing field work in the Kankakee River Valley. And part of that was learning about different historical sites and everything in the area. So that is when I learned about the Kankakee County Museum. From there, I started volunteering, and here I am today, the
That,
executive director.
that's
So
awesome. So, now how long have you been the executive director?
it has been 3 years now that I've been in
Wonderful.
this role.
Wonderful. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about the museum so our guests get to know you and the museum better?
Yeah. So the Kankakee County Historical Society actually is both the Kankakee County Museum campus and the French Heritage Museum. Both are wonderful places to visit. The Kankakee County Historical Society's mission is preserving our past, sharing the present, and inspiring the future of Kankakee County. So we fulfill that mission by offering volunteer and internship experiences, providing research and educational opportunities and programs. And we also obviously conserve and maintain historic artifacts, archives, and buildings. Both the Kankakee County Historical Museum and the French Heritage Museum um, offer all of those experiences. You can tour, you can self guided tours, or we do offer like an actual guided tour. We have volunteers and staff who will help with that. You just have to call us in advance so we can schedule that. We do have some school groups that come through. There's one in particular, they come at almost every aspect of time periods.
Okay.
And the teacher will bring them in and connect what they're learning about history to the actual local community. So that's pretty cool. I love that he does that with his students because it just makes it more real to you, I guess,
Yeah.
being able to see how it connects to local people.
The museum is actually on the, I'll say, campus of the Governor's Small Memorial Park.
Yes.
So, tell us about some of the buildings that are on the campus.
Yeah. Good question. So there are four buildings that are associated with the Kankakee County Museum, and then there's the Civic Auditorium, also a beautiful building that is makes up the campus. But so there's the Civic Auditorium, the Kankakee County Museum main building, which is where our offices are, where most of the exhibits are, and where events take place typically, other than the Cow Garden. And then there is the Taylor One Room Schoolhouse, which was brought over in 1972 for the purpose of preserving it and sharing it with the
Hmm.
community. And the original building, which was the there's some Abram Small Memorial Home. Governor Lynn Small was his son,
Yeah.
who grew up there. But that was the original building on the property, and the property was otherwise basically farmland. They did grow rhubarb, like a lot of rhubarb, and sold it.
Hmm.
He also used it for medicinal purposes, but that is why we host the rhubarb festival every year.
Yeah. I remember as a child going into the one room schoolhouse
Yeah.
on a school, outing,
Hmm.
so the museum really has a lot of fond memories for me
Good.
um, doing that with our schools.
And there's
So,
one other building
yeah.
that hasn't been touched in a while, but it is, if you look at it, it looks just like a stone barn, if you will. It's a smaller building, and
Mhm.
there's a barn quilt in front of it. But we found in our research that it was at one time a chicken coop, and another time it was like a smokehouse. So it's been used for a variety of reasons. I guess when the park originally was created, they also had restrooms in there. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, right now it's just kind of empty, but a little bit of random things stored in there. But we're hoping to do something with that soon. So
Yes, that's awesome. And that's the one that needs a new roof. Am I
that
correct?
does need a new roof.
Okay.
Yes.
And so hopefully, um, so the community foundation actually has a fund for the museum. It was started sometime back. I'm going to say around 2005, 2006. And so hopefully we're going to be able to give some funds to help repair that roof. So,
Yes.
um,
That and our June event, we're having a dinner and a movie date night in the Column Garden. So between the funds that we are able to use through the Community Foundation and funds raised through that event, we hope to be able to get that roof done.
that'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and that's the whole point of having endowments here at the Community Foundation is so that organizations, when a need does arise, that the money is there and ready to be used and utilized to preserve our history.
Which is why you're so
So,
necessary.
yes, thank you. Absolutely. So, what's your favorite part about working at the museum?
I love that every day is different. I love the variety, from being a volunteer to now being the executive director. I still look forward to coming in every week. And yeah, one day I'll be helping to set up a display. The next day I'll be here talking to you.
Right. Yeah.
But it is a lot of fun to just uh, do something new every day. And every time we learn something new about history, it's still exciting. Um, for example, this week alone, I started my Monday with meeting our security and fire service people at
Sure.
the French Heritage Museum. And then on Tuesday, our staff took a field trip to Springfield. We got to tour the archives and the Capitol building, and it was just a wonderful professional development day that we got to spend together. And then Wednesday, we were taking down Clove Alliance's art show. Yesterday, we were putting up a new art show and a new postcard display. And today, when I get back, we'll be doing more
That's
exciting
awesome.
things.
So you talked about working with Clove Alliance, and another organization now is putting an art show in. So what are those? What some of the other collaborations that you have within the county?
Gosh, we have so many. With art shows, we've had different individual artists. We've had Clove Alliance. This is their second year that we've been partnering with them. And we hope that continues every year from now on because it's been great. The Kankakee Art League has a very long history with us. When the Kankakee County Museum was dedicated as a historic and arts building, it was actually the Historical Society and the Kankakee Art League together. So we continue that tradition every
Yeah.
year with their show. And BBCHS has their art show in December, along with our Gallery of Trees. And the Gallery of Trees is another way we work with different nonprofits in the community. It is only open to nonprofits to host a tree and decorate the tree. And that is a good marketing opportunity for those nonprofits.
That's awesome. So you have the column gardens too.
I do. And
That's a
those are
really
very
beautiful
popular.
space.
Yes, it is. And it's, I'll be scrolling through Facebook and come across a picture. I'm like, I know that place. It's the Common
Yeah,
Garden.
yeah, it's a great place for a lot of senior prom
Yes.
pictures, right?
Yep, especially right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
There have been a
yeah,
lot of those. So that is a beautiful garden, and that is the Kankakee cultivators
yeah.
um, created that and helped maintain that, along with the Kankakee Valley Park District and ourselves, the Kankakee County Museum.
That's awesome.
There's also the Let Freedom Ring Garden right next to that as well, which is also very beautiful and well maintained by the cultivators.
Right. That's great. Um, do you have any current needs at the museum that you would like people to know about? Yeah.
Always. So obviously, financial support is always helpful. Any nonprofit will tell you, especially now with inflation, gas is more expensive, electricity is more expensive, and a lot of what we do is preservation of history for future generations to enjoy and get to learn. And part of that is having at least as much as you can climate controlled space. And obviously, our buildings are older, so they are in constant need of maintenance. Currently, we are working, if you drive down Indiana Avenue, you'll see the construction going on at the stone barn. We're working on the cupola. It has been in need of repairs for a few years now and is finally getting that care that it needed. So help with offsetting that cost is a current need. And we are always happy to welcome new volunteers, and especially for our big events. The Rhubarb Festival is coming up just a few weeks, and that takes a whole army to put on.
Yeah.
But we also always enjoy having regular volunteers that come day to day or week to week, month to month, whatever you're available to do and want to have experience in. We are pretty open to making those opportunities happen.
So, Veronica, do you do genealogy research at the museum?
We do. We have a research coordinator who does all sorts of research. Most popular inquiries are for genealogy, houses, or even old businesses that were in the area, and then people in general, just looking up their information and history. So genealogy is very popular among our French Heritage Museum volunteers as well. If you ever wanted to look up or meet with one of our volunteers at the French Heritage Museum once it opens again, they are very good and very quick at finding that genealogy for you.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell us, or if there's any events throughout the year? I know you've mentioned a few already, but
we've tried a Voyager 5K in the past, but this year we're going to have a little twist to it. Instead of having a run or a race, we're going to set it up closer to like the cemetery walk, but along the river. And we've already talked to the Kankakee Valley Park District, and they are going to allow us to use some of their path space by Kankakee County, oh my gosh, Kankakee Community College.
There you go.
So it'll be basically like you're walking the path of a Voyager right along the river. And we'll have different stops set up that you'll get to learn a little bit of history throughout time, from the beginning of Kankakee to closer to today. So
that
we're
sounds like
really
it'll be a really
about that one.
fun event. Yeah.
So that'll be hopefully in the late summer, early fall. But we'll keep everyone posted. So follow us on social media.
Right.
And then the Artisan Fair is another local favorite that is in the first Saturday of November.
Yeah, that's great. So I just want to mention too, membership is important.
Yes.
And it's really reasonable. Can you tell us about your membership program?
Yeah. So we have all sorts of opportunities to become a member. You can do individual, family memberships, businesses can be members and support in that way. And we also still have a few spots left for our 75 for 75 lifetime membership. It is originally $300 to become a lifetime member, so it's actually 75% off. We were celebrating our 75th year at Governor Small Memorial Park last year, and so we came up with this fun campaign to draw more members in, and we are getting close to that 75. So
that's awesome.
Urge you to consider.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess, is there anything else you'd like to let us know about?
Just keep informed by joining us on at our events or following us on social media and checking in.
Great. And so what is your address?
801 South 8th Avenue.
And it's at Governor Small Memorial Park. So you can Google that if you need to, or look on, you have a website?
We do have a website, KankakeeCountyMuseum.com.
Wonderful. Veronica, thank you so much for joining us today. You are our inaugural Community Compass. I had to look up at the sign because I like to call this a conversation. It's definitely not a podcast.
Well, it's an
So,
honor. Thank you for
yeah,
having me.
absolutely. So, thank you all for joining us for our first Community Compass conversation. We hope you have a wonderful day.